I do have a problem with where you have Washington.
Wow.
You're back in?
Look, I was in last year. I know you hate Jayden Daniels.
I don't. That's take that
Never
back.
liked him one bit since it came out because he's too skinny.
I don't like skinny athletes.
Yes,
It's the theme of today's show.
Yeah.
From
And
Chet
Kevin
to
Durant's pretty
Jayden,
skinny,
I don't
know.
He
like.
doesn't like Chet. He doesn't like Jayden. I get it.
Wimby,
And
Yeah, they scare me.
skinny Luka.
and it was
Skinny
justified.
Luka, exactly
That's why I
right. Go
love
ahead.
It was,
Chunky.
your fears were absolutely justified last season by how poorly he played.
Well, when's the
hopefully-
one time he had a bit of a slump?
Hopefully now
Cracked ribs.
he's put on a little bit of weight.
Yeah.
I am a little bit gun shy based off of my experience last year with CJ. They're following a very similar pattern where they went out and got the free agents in Tunsil and then
Debo.
with Debo.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that they complemented Tunsil with another first-round draft pick at offensive tackle, so they're solidify the offensive line.
I
They
like
go
that
get
too.
another weapon for Jayden, and I'm assuming that he's going to continue to move forward as opposed to what we saw with CJ last year, where
That's
CJ
all-
did take a little bit of a step back, and you could easily put him in the tier above. Because with Detroit, you lose both coordinators. There should be an effect there.
Yeah.
And I know you love the
That's
Rams,
true.
and I know you love Stafford, and I like Stafford a lot too. But you
No.
can easily put Washington in that
So
same tier.
I understand that. This is where, you and I have been talking football together for so long.
It has been a long
It's
time.
a long time. Every once in a while, Coach, more than every once in a while, I say something and I'm like, I sound like Coach Mangini. I'm like and it's
Nice
usually
to
one of
hear.
the smarter things I say. I would do that. But every once in a while, you have a take, and I'm like, this guy's been hanging out with me. Like the young quarterback who had the amazing rookie year, whose team spent the offseason upgrading his side of the ball when the defense last year was not good and now goes into next year with similar questions, would not be 2018 Coach Mangini would not have been on Washington.
I do have a soft spot for Dan Quinn.
Yes, that's true.
So he was my defensive line coach in New York. I have a lot of
Mine too,
confidence
oddly.
in his ability to improve the
yeah,
defense.
I agree.
And I think that happens a lot of times with head coaches who have a specialty. You're willing to put more resources on the other side of the ball because you have a confidence that you can fix the problems on your side of the ball.
I'm going to throw a curveball for mine.
Okay. The curveball is nothing to do with the Commanders. We're here to talk Commanders. First off, they got some players on defense. They drafted some players on defense. And I do believe in Dan Quinn in building up that defense. So I think this defense will be better. I also think this offense obviously will be better. And to compare it to CJ Stroud really is kind of silly. Because one, Jayden Daniels can do more than CJ Stroud, and Jayden Daniels also has a level of mobility that CJ Stroud simply does not. It's not like CJ Stroud's some like statue quarterback, but it's levels. Jayden Daniels is clearly better, clearly a better runner than CJ Stroud, and it's not even particularly close to me. So that alone now can really help you with any of this sense of regression, because you can even see it says ripe for regression for the Commanders, that they're ripe for regression, which is really kind of absurd. Also, Cliff Kingsbury is way more experienced and established of a coordinator than Bobby Slowick was. And I got in a whole back and forth with some guy. He was a Commanders fan, to be fair, but he was like, giving Cliff Kingsbury credit for Jayden Daniels' success is absurd. And I'm like, no. Trying to downplay what Cliff Kingsbury was able to do with Jayden Daniels is absurd. Cliff Kingsbury did a lot of awesome things with Jayden Daniels, and he really simplified the offense in a way where you had other teams and players trying to make fun of the Commanders, being like, it's a college offense or this or that. And again, to be clear, simplify does not mean dumb down. I highlighted a clip where Greg Cosell talked about that, and he's like, essentially he pretty much said that fans always lose their mind. He didn't say it directly, but he was implying it, that like he emphasized That's the job for a coordinator, to simplify the offense. And I look at it like, do you guys understand that? Andy Reid simplifies the offense for Patrick Mahomes, and insert any coordinator you want, or a head coach for, Sean McVay and Stafford, whatever it is. Like, that is the job. Simplify, make everything clear and defined. And Cliff Kingsbury totally understood how to really lean into what Jayden Daniels does great, and not try to push the what's the word I want to use here? Push things in a way where they need not be pushed, where they were continuing to have a ton of success. And now this year is all about growing even more. And the beauty is that they have such a rich and strong foundation to build off of. And quite frankly, when people talk about film and stuff on Jayden Daniels, and now there'll be this regression, if anything, they left plenty off the table last season that nobody has film on. So there's just going to be different layers of this offense that they haven't even been able to really tap into. And this is what's so great about Jayden's and Cliff Kingsbury's relationship, is that they have this back and forth where beginning of last season, they were very much like, Cliff Kingsbury was pretty much like, I need to know exactly what you're comfortable with and what you're not, and we're really going to lean into, what you're comfortable with. And now this time around, they talked about how it's very much like they want to explore the uncomfortable aspects, some of Jayden Daniels' weaknesses. And again, I always talk about this. It's a process of trying to figure out the aspects of someone's weaknesses when it's time to elevate that and now make that either into a strength or now just pretty good, not much of a limitation. And other times when it's time to like, no, this is just going to be not something that you do great, and we're going to minimize it. We're going to try to do our best to try to make sure we don't put you in this situation at a high level. And so I just think there's going to be so many other dimensions of this offense and of this team collectively. I don't think it should be all about the Jayden Daniels show, although he's such a gifted player that, of course, he will clearly be front and center and will have no shortage of highlights and amazing moments. But I'm anticipating this team playing a lot more complete. And make no mistake about it, even the regression of CJ Stroud, even though I do believe Jayden Daniels is better than CJ, I believe CJ is an awesome quarterback as well. His O-line was a mess. And they failed to ever really get the run game going in a meaningful direction when it mattered most. The run game was able to take off when things were already kind of such a mess for them, and they had all their weapons injured. Every single wide receiver got injured at least once, and a couple of them got knocked out for the season or missed chunks. The wide receiver 1, 2, and 3, and a bad O-line. So I'm not so sure what you expect a second-year quarterback to do. I'm pretty confident if Zach Ertz goes down and Terry McLaurin's not playing and Debo's not there and the O-line is a mess, yes, Jayden Daniels will regress. I think he'll still probably make something out of nothing, but yeah, I don't imagine that he'll be putting this team on his back and just ripping off wins and having great games. Oh, and give like a second-year offensive coordinator who clearly was not good enough at managing the injuries, because you have to figure that out. And that takes experience. That takes time. Even Sean McVay struggled with that. Pretty much every offensive mind right now in the NFL struggles with that, except for Andy Reid. And it's not a mistake that the dude's been coaching for like 50 years at this point. It takes time and experience. And so that was really kind of what did CJ Stroud and the Texans. And so to even compare Jayden what the Commanders are doing, it doesn't really even make sense at all, honestly. It's like saying this quarterback's right-handed and this quarterback's right-handed. And so, there's a lot of similarities. And it's like, I guess so. I mean, sure. Like, I don't know. And so I don't really see the point, honestly. I think the Commanders are going to have a ton of success. I think they're going to be a great team. And I also had them elevated as well. The whole Wright for regression doesn't make any sense. And Nick also said before earlier, it's like, well, they won a lot of one-score games or whatever, a lot of these close games. And so those now can become losses. And it's like, but then we always act like they're always going to be in that situation. What about the other end of the equation where it's like, well, they're going to be winning more games that are not one-score games. Because I agree. If you told me that they had the exact same number of one-score games, then I would say, yeah, they're probably not going to win at the same rate that they did. Neither would the Chiefs, neither would any team, because it's a brutal way to live. But if you're saying I'm banking on the Commanders to be in those similar situations again that they were with a first-year quarterback and the first year of the coordinator and quarterback working together, that they're going to be in that situation again, I'd say no. So I'm imagining that this offense will be better and the defense will be better. That alone is going to make you no longer in a lot of these closer games. You're going to have a lot of consistency. You're going to have a lot of momentum to build off of. And, yeah, man, I don't know if there's anything else to say. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Washington Commanders being ripe for regression? And, Nick Wright hating Jayden Daniels, as Mangini said. That's what Mangini said. Nick denies it. Nick denies it. I don't think he hates him. He just likes Caleb Williams a lot more. But those are just my thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.